Hey guys, Jeff here. A little while back, when I was talking about how I made my crocheted purses, I showed one that had a flower on it, and somebody asked me about it. And I realized that it's probably time I should go ahead and talk about how you make these flowers. So I got to say that for starters, these flowers are definitely a whole lot quicker. They definitely take a lot less material than doing one of the bags. But you can also really vary them up. I mean, use any sort of colors you have. I even had one that I made where I tried doing a combination. I don't know about you, but for me, once people found out that I did plastic bag projects, they're always saving them for me. And there are an impressive array of colors. I mean, green, I know that comes from my local library, blue, pink, purple, orange, black. I don't know where those came from, but they're not enough to make a bag from. But once you get a sizable amount, you can definitely make a flower, which can go on a bag, which can go on its own. I think I even had somebody get one of these flowers from me because they wanted to put like a barrette clip on the back and be able to just use it that way. So today I want to walk you through how to make one of these flowers. So I'll be back with you in a moment. I'll have this cleared away and we'll get to the actual process. All right, I think we got everything ready to go here. One of the first things to mention, and when I was trying to prepare all this, I realized I no longer have the original pattern that I had found. I found a pattern online once upon a time, and I modified it to work better with the Plarn, but I can't find it anymore, so I can't give you that resource. I will, in the description, try to do my best to write out a pattern of how I do this. You'll notice that when I showed you the flowers earlier, some were bigger, some were smaller. I think that's because for a while I was actually using my end hook, the exact same one that I use for doing the bags. What I realized is the flowers look a lot better, a lot tidier when they're smaller. So the one that I have been using is my H hook, the 8 or the 5mm. I am still using the regular Plarn, made the exact same way. I don't make specialty Plarn for any real reason as far as thickness goes, so it's still that inch or so that I cut and then loop them together. So to start these, it's our standard start like you would do for anything that you crochet, and these are obviously crocheted in the round. So I begin by chaining 1, 2, 3, 4, and joining that with a slip stitch to make a ring. Now to make the petals that we're going to have, we're going to need to create some sets of chains around here. So I chain 1 to go for my first stitch, and then I chain 2 more, and then I do a single stitch through our loop there. And we're going to repeat that for a total of 6 petals. Chain 2, single stitch through the middle, gives us the second petal, or the base for the second petal. Chain 2 through the middle for the third petal. Chain 2 through the middle, that tail out of the way, through the middle for the fourth petal. And it's up to you, really. I found that I like them with 6 petals, but there's nothing to say it has to have 6 petals. I think I've done 4. You want to try it with more petals? You want to try it with only 4 or 5 petals? That's up to you. That's the beauty of these things. It's like Bob Ross always said, right? It's your world. You create it how you want. into, and I believe this has me my base for my 6th petal. Now, the petals are going to be worked inside those loops that we made with the sets of chains right there. And for the first round of petals, the way we're going to make them nice and smoothly round, is inside here we are going to do a single stitch. Then we're going to grab another loop so that way we can do a half double stitch, pull all the way through there. Grab a loop. This time we're going to do a double stitch, so we pull through there and we pull through a second time. So that way we have a short, medium, and long stitch, and then we're just going to reverse that with a half double and then a single. So there you can see is our first little petal. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around for the other 6 petals. And this is just giving us the middle part of our flower. After we have finished up all 6 petals, and if you notice, I wasn't really doing anything special. I guess I should go back to that. I'm not doing anything special to go from one to the next. When I finish my single stitch here, I just put my hook into the next space and I start my next single. Nothing special to stop one petal and start another. Just keep it all going. So once we get all 6 of those inner petals done, and I've gotten right here, I just finished the single stitch at the end of my last inner petal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a single stitch right in between the little petal parts there. And now we need to create the base for our second set of petals. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, you want to go back behind here. I know it doesn't always work that way, so sometimes I'll just go across, and right in between this last single from this petal and the first from this one, I'm just going to do a single stitch to fasten those 4 chains in. When you're done, push those to the back. Okay, so just chain 2, 3, 4, and connect it right in between those petals there. All right, so that's giving us our base to be able to get our second row of petals in. Now for our second row of petals, we do want to make them a little bit wider. So it's going to be similar, sorry about bumping you there. It's going to be similar to what we did for the first row of petals, but not identical. Because before we had 2 chains to fill, now we've got the 4 chains. So this one starts the same with a single stitch and a half double. So the part where it changes for this second row of petals is this time we are going to do 3 double crochets. All right, so building up that middle, we got our single, we have our half double, so we're going to do, nope, don't let that come through. We're going to do 1 double, 2 double, and a 3rd double stitch. And again, we're just going to work that size back down with a half double and a single. And again, nothing special to change this over to the adjacent petal. I'm just going to put my hook into that next set of chains, do my single, and then we're just going to keep going. Single, half double, 3 doubles, half double, single, next petal. All the way around until we get to our final petal. When we get to our final petal, I don't like to just bind off right here. Now I will go in between my first big petal and my last big petal, and I am going to do a slip stitch. But what I like to do, especially since I'm usually sewing these onto those big bags that I make, is I'll pull it through like we're finishing, but I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to use my hook to weave it, and notice I left a nice long tail on this. I am going to weave it in and out, which is the benefit of using the same color as I've been going all the way through making this. In and out. Where am I? Sometimes it gets a little lost in there. And you can do this with a needle instead of a hook if that helps you feel a little bit more precise about what you're doing. So this is coming to me on the right side, and then I'll finish it up by pulling through just in between in that first established set there. Because once I pull it through right down here, that means that I now have this long tail at the center, which means that if I put a needle on this, I can use this tail, nothing extra needed, use this tail to actually sew through here to attach the flower to the bag. So that is my process for making one of these Plarn flowers. And again, you can use them for all sorts of things. Decorate the bags, decorate a headband, barrette, throw some onto a present if you want to just pretty it up a little bit. So there you go. That's how to do that. Thank you for asking for this. I love having requests to know what people want to see. And hope I'll have some more Plarn projects for you in the future. Let me know if you end up making this, what you've used it for, how it worked out for you. And I'll talk to you all later.